All right, and welcome everybody to the weekly Wednesday live stream. An exciting month, the month of smAshtember. So lots of stuff going on, including a nearly M-class solar flare 20 minutes before the show started. We'll get to it and lots more. We'll also show imagery of the sun, and we'll deal with your chats and so on. We'll talk about the smAsh team and lots of other stuff. Here's a little bit of a musical interlude, and we'll be right back. Yeah, so we got some flare activity kicking off 20 minutes before the show kicked off. Perfect timing, really. Here's the GOES X-ray flux data. There you go, 1420. I mean, 1730 or so. So about a half an hour before we went live here. And expect some radio blackouts as a result. They're probably largely already past, as this happened about a half an hour ago. So that's probably mostly cleared up now. So a little bit of higher levels of solar activity there, causing the ionosphere to absorb or allow to pass through radio signals as opposed to refracting them effectively. And you can see that coinciding with the peak flux moment there. The nearly M-class flare there would have caused some significant radio blackouts over places like Central America, at least in the high frequency bands. So anyway, I wasn't really doing a live stream to talk about this so much, although things like coronal mass ejection warnings and solar flare warnings are still indeed in effect. How much of a concern that is to you for your daily life is up to you, as it's rather unlikely, although many would say the Earth is due for a large coronal mass ejection strike in the near future. And our channel spends plenty of time talking about space weather headed Earth's way. There is a little bit headed our way, but it's very minor, and coronal holes have been looking weak. And I guess we can bring up some more data on this. Since we've looked at deabsorption regions, we might as well look at the Space Weather Enthusiasts dashboard, as many of our viewers are space weather enthusiasts. So we normally show this on our daily videos. It's sort of a spot to get a whole bunch of data in the same place here. And we're actually at a radio flux level we haven't seen since December of 2020. So radio flux at 101 solar flux units. And apparently there was a forecast for geomagnetic unrest. Let's see if there's anything modeled here. We have seen a bit of a lack of data earlier today. And again, we don't normally talk about space weather particularly much on our weekly Wednesday streams. They're about literally anything. In fact, we have this one categorized as news and politics, but sometimes the news is the space weather. So here's just a basic, another coronal hole wind stream it looks like here. Although there was a speed and density spike at the same time. Anyway, the main story is here that we've got significant sunspots, and there have been a couple stealth coronal mass ejections headed Earth's way. They're going to be minor strikes. And I guess while I'm looking at data, I better look at the proton flux. And we don't really see anything on the proton flux. Electron flux stayed largely below warning levels here for most of the day today. Anyway, here's what we're seeing from the LASCO C3 and C2. So there was a coronal mass ejection yesterday. And a couple of stealthy things going on recently. I'll just say that. And so this one looks a bit Earth directed. It's a little bit to the west, but there looks like there's some Earth facing ejecta there. Keep in mind from this perspective, Earth is sort of moving in this direction. That's the way the sun rotates and the way the Earth orbits the sun. The sun doing about a 27-day rotation or so at the equator at least. And yeah, so it looks like there's some ejecta. Got a big chunk of missing data there, 8 hours worth. It looks like most of it is to the west, but there is probably some on the Earth line here, as if we look at the stereo A coronagraph, which you can find on the 7th page of the Integrated Space Weather Analysis Center. You'll find the stereo A coronagraph, and you can see that there is a somewhat Earth-directed coronal mass ejection. That's part of our warning, although the warning remains in place. So there still is plenty of plasma that could still head Earth's way. This is a fairly minor thing once again here. And a lot of that plasma just reoriented and stayed in the corona. You can see some of it did go downrange toward Earth. But it's pretty diffuse. And that's why the coronal mass ejection watch stays in effect. Coronal mass ejection warning, really. As more of this plasma will eject. And we'll just sort of stay on top of that there and figure out, to the best of our ability, if it's Earth-directed or not. I've noticed some problems on the internet, let's just say. The interwebs have exposed some issues with people's forecasting of trajectories and so on. And I'll just leave it at that. By the way, thanks everybody for leaving comments. We'll put the comments on the screen momentarily. First, let's talk about Twitter. Are you on Twitter? If not, you should be. If you're worried about censorship over on Twitter, it's not particularly censored. I mean, yes, people get censored because of political reasons. because of Twitter's obvious political bias, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be censored on Twitter. I'm not so sure about that. You have to be privileged. And of course, it's well known that certain leaders of terrorist organizations, effectively terrorist organizations, are allowed to post on Twitter while other folks aren't. But the point is, you should be there regardless. If you're on the interwebs and attempting to, have a web presence or keep in touch with your friends or whatever it is you use social media for, you may want to be on Twitter anyway. So let's go back to last week, as last week was the kickoff of smAshtember. And thanks everybody who tuned in to last week's weekly Wednesday stream. It was the kickoff of smAshtember, where we launched smashamash.com/smashteam officially. It was operational for a solid couple of weeks before that. And we launched it and drank champagne on camera and so on. A rarity at the Smash Bunker. But in any case, it's been wildly delightful, and the new website is just spectacular. So let's just show you quickly how to navigate to that. If you head to smashamash.com, smashamash.org will redirect you. And you can get to the Smash Team site just by clicking on the giant Smash Team graphic right there at the top of the home page. More on that later. And let me just get back to where I was started here. At a week ago on my Twitter feed, because I don't remember what I was talking about a week ago. And these weekly Wednesday streams are not necessarily so that I can remember what I was talking about a week ago. They're just because we like to do occasional exclusive content on all of our different, quote, platforms, end quote. And some of those platforms are shaky. Very, very shaky. All right, so here I'm back. So there's our thumbnail from last week. And yeah, so thanks everybody who went over to smashamash.com/smashteam. Everybody else viewing this, you're invited as well. And there are features. I'll just say that. There are features, folks. So now, let us know in the comments what you've been thinking in the past, 2 years of your state government. By the way, I launched a new meme last night, which we'll show you a little bit later. It was first posted to smashamash.com/forum, smashamash.com/forum. Go check that out if you haven't. That's entirely free. There's a free level at smashamash.com/smashteam as well. Oh, look, here's a quote. So laughing at Senator Sanders from Vermont getting lulled and ratioed. Democrat Party, corporatist plutocrats. Republican Party, corporatist plutocrats. Bernie Sanders, plutocrat who panders to the poor, especially the poorly educated, about plutocrats, since Bernie is a 1%er with 3 expensive homes. Yes, Bernie's mad that the government is in collusion with Wall Street, which is why he wants to make the government much bigger. You must believe all people who have Brooklyn accents, whether they're peddling vaccines or whether they know nothing about economics. You must believe what they say, because their street slang means that they from the hood and they ain't frontin' on nobody's business here, yo. Or something like that. By the way, gold members at smashamash.com have the option of getting an @smashamash.com domain email address. If you're wondering if we read your emails, I'm wondering if we're even able to read your emails. It's just not a thing that's done normally. I don't know what happened to privacy these days. But I've noticed some issues about, the security of communications, if you know what I'm saying, these days over here. I've noticed some issues with the security of communications, by the way. So anyway, we post lots of videos on the Twitter feed. But then I talk about other stuff too, like how annual paid up memberships get this exclusive merch. You know what I'm saying? Exclusive merch that nobody else gets. Merch like this. I mean, if you like the design, you can get the design. If you like your doctors, you can keep your doctors. No matter whether they're corrupt or not, you could keep your doctors. All right, let's do a news crawl. I'm transitioning. I'm sure there won't be any fear-mongering about COVID on USA Today's homepage. Let's see how the U.S. killed civilians while targeting ISIS-K with secret bladed missile. It's almost like a flying guillotine, except not the one that the RZA wears as a top hat. It's a different one. And apparently, USA Today is attempting to display advertisements. So we'll just not view their website in any way. And we'll go to, let's see, what else could we check out? How about Newsweek, right? Newsweek, Newsweek. Newsweek. Oh. Should I let Newsweek send me notifications? I think not. And let's check what their top headlines are. As Biden popularity falls, Democrats fear losing Senate and House. I can't imagine why Democrats would lose the Senate and House. Aren't you out there hoping the government gets bigger and more all-encompassing, folks? Wouldn't you prefer more regulation on the economy and on your very life? The WHO says highly vaccinated countries have, quote, false sense of COVID safety. Here at the Smash News Network, we want you to be frightened about COVID. So Google, make sure you don't demonetize our video because we are frightened. I have stockpiled lip balm, just because I've heard that you could get very chapped lips on the COVID. So listen, I'm not screwing around here. I'm not screwing around in any way. I'm being very careful with my health. Because the COVID, I'm making sure that I take every drop of my medicine over there. Every drab, I mask up. I sleep with my mask on. Yeah, I got the mask off right now here, but it's because here that I'm in this medical tent here. They've sucked all the air out of the room. So I'm perfectly sterile right now. I'm perfectly sterile. And by the way, if you're wondering what the WHO is doing about tuberculosis, the deadliest infectious disease in the world, the answer is they have no action plan for it. But for COVID, I'm sure they don't know how COVID works. It's probably a mystery. Maybe its origins. What do you think? Do you think COVID's origins are a mystery, folks? Let us know in the comments if you think the origin of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. I'm just asking questions, folks. This is certainly not medical misinformation, is it? Just asking. So if you know, let us know in the comments. By the way, you won't be held legally responsible for what you say in the comments. You won't have money stripped from your pocket or your soul stripped from your corpse as a result of saying anything in the comments. I think some people may take their jobs more seriously than appropriate. But anyway, the WHO has no action plan for tuberculosis, but it says highly vaccinated countries have false sense of safety, such as Israel, which has a pretty high death rate and a very high vaccination rate, coincidentally. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Although, I did start following the COVID very closely, starting in January of last year. And once again, you can head to our forum if you want to check it out. Watch this. If you head to smashomash.com/forum, you can find a forum thread that's over 30 pages long. It's in the free-for-all section. See, if you go to this, a section which also hosts the thread 2021, Year of Incompetence? Year of incompetence? No. Public officials are totally competent at their jobs. No sarcasm has been expressed in this video, and Tom Wolfe is perfectly capable of making healthcare decisions for me. So, if you click on the coronavirus thread, thank goodness for Rachel Levine. Oh my God, we may not have been wearing masks in Pennsylvania for 18 months had it not been for Rachel Levine. So cheers. The real question is, can you cover me by dropping into coverage in a cover 2 defense after a play action pass attempt? Can you cover me in the flat, Rachel? That's the real question. And I think the answer is more than obvious. Anyway, this is an over 30-page document here, and we didn't just post links to the stories. We copy-pasted the whole stories. We copy-pasted the whole stories because, hey, when you notice that there are some abnormalities in the, quote, media, end quote, some of us have a tendency to archive what it is that they said and what it is that they did. So we copy-pasted the entire articles. We didn't just paste links. So yeah, it's by far our most visited location at smashemash.com/forum, and we created it for just such purposes. It's called accountability, and we'd like to see a lot more of that throughout the year 2021, as opposed to just a year of incompetence, blatant and shocking incompetence, which is what we've been seeing. And on that note, it's time for the Smash News Network to take a little break here before I vanish and lose my voice. In the meantime, enjoy this track. It's called When I. And we'll show you some more solar imagery in the meantime. And we're back. If the music sounds creepy, sorry. It's original, by the way. And you should be able to find links to it. Some of it, at least. Some of it's exclusive, and you can't find it any place but on these videos. But other music is available at SoundClick and SoundCloud and so on. The weirder stuff is located at SoundCloud. The more normal stuff is located at SoundClick. And there's a lot of stuff that's at neither location, as we don't just make awesome tracks for free. It's kind of expensive. Anyway, dig the imagery here of the GOES 16 solar ultraviolet imager, the SUVI. And we've been featuring it on Twitch. We did capture the last coronal mass ejection last night at twitch.tv/smAshamash. And thanks to all of our Twitch followers who perhaps discovered the YouTube channel via Twitch. And to our YouTube viewers, we do regularly stream to Twitch. Our meteorology segments are not exclusive to YouTube, but the space weather videos are. So perhaps that appeals to both of you. As here at the Smash News Network, we prefer to appeal to everybody. And thanks very much, Judy, for the super chat. That is greatly appreciated. And if there's anything you'd like us to cover, let us know. We're going to go back to what we were talking about before I started ranting. And leave us a comment if there's plenty of stuff to rant about where you're located. So yeah, anyway, smashamash.com/forum is pretty spectacular. And that was before we were even creating subscription services. So smashamash.com/smashteam is even more refined than that. So, isn't it great when thy public servant creates a problem and then creates the solution to the problem and then expects you to thank thy public servant? Don't you notice a problem there? By the way, let's do an advertisement for gaming. If you like to play first-person shooters, highly recommended you play Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. It's free. It's open source. It doesn't require a fast PC. I've recently ranked up into the top 500, as if that's relevant to anything. But as far as public players go, I've been a leader of 2 different clan scrim teams. But in any case, go check it out. And maybe we'll put a comment up so that folks can follow me, so we can play together. We actually plan on getting a game server at some point soon. And once again, to our YouTube viewers. Now, YouTube is a platform that people tend to use for edited videos, uploaded content. Twitch is a platform that people tend to use for streaming. Now, we seem to have lost some of our subscribers, as when we took this screenshot, you can see our playlists were blowing up as they were on fire. But we were at 2.6 trillion subscribers. So I think we've lost a few subs here. I think we're now at like 2.1 thousand. But anyway, thanks to all of you who didn't decide to unsubscribe. And to the rest of the, 100, to the rest of you, 1.994 trillion subscribers who unsubscribed, please press like and subscribe. I mean, come back. We take retention very seriously at smashamash.com and youtube.com/smashamash. So by all means, make sure you come back because we want to get back. We want to make it to 3.06 trillion subscribers. I mean, check it out. This video here apparently had 73 million views, according to this. So I don't know. By the way, we're also on BitChute. And I'd never tell you to go away from YouTube during a YouTube live stream exclusive. Were you aware of this? I don't know. I'm not going to leave that on the screen very long. How do you like that? Were you aware of that? Do you remember a little incident in the Senate when a senator from Kentucky was talking to a hack fraud from Washington and talking about gain-of-function research. Do you remember that? Do you remember some tiny, tiny flea of a man saying that if anybody's lying here, Senator, it's you? Do you remember anything like that? I mean, I could have sworn. Am I attempting to gaslight you here? Am I attempting to gaslight you? By the way, this was originally hosted at smAsho.com/forum as well. I don't know if you were aware of these facts or not, but we started uncovering these facts back in December of 2020. We noticed something was smelling a little bit fishy. Something was stinking up the room. And you know what it was? It was a certain fraudster, the face of evil, otherwise known as Saint Anthony Fauci. Saint Anthony Fauci, a slow clap for each one of your flip-flops, which I'll have to curtail right now because there are too many flip-flops to clap for. An entire room's worth of people, all of the staff at Google, could certainly not contribute enough claps to represent all of your frauds. And if you're wondering what the word fraud means, I used to run an insurance agency. I was the insurance agency. And fraud is the intentional misrepresentation of material facts. Those have been going on provably since last year. So, just putting it out there, folks. I don't know if you are aware or not, but there are some facts on your screen. Let's continue on. Again, you can find them at smAsho.com/forum. Those little series of facts there may be relevant to you for some reason. I don't know. Who knows? All right, so let's scroll your chats here. Thanks again for the super chat and for everybody who left comments. Shout out to John and Cansquatch and Son of Clay and so on. Yes. And to Kelly Gates and Judy Menzel. So yeah, thanks everybody for participating via leaving comments. We're only about a half an hour into this live stream. We've got plenty of time to go. If you've just tuned in, drop us a line. Let us know what you're into. We're going to take another break here. I'm going to play another Golden Cat Productions track. This one's known as... Let me pick something shorter. This one's known as Unified Theory 3, and we've actually been using this quite a bit in our daily space weather videos. So, and by the way, it's named for a unified theory of physics, if you're wondering. And we'll be right back after about 2 minutes. All right, and we've got content out the yin-yang. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into it. Again, check our playlists at youtube.com/smashamash/playlists. You may be surprised how many videos are there in the different playlists. So yeah, back to smashamash.com/forum. If you haven't checked it out yet, it is a delight. And now this one doesn't even require any logins or anything. You can you have to log into post, obviously, but if you would like to just view the content and so on, you can. All the links are just publicly visible. There's no reason to log in if you don't want to. And yeah, shout out to our viewers from Munda. We've got plenty of viewers in the south of the equator zone. And again, check out our latest meme here, the Fauci lied again meme. Let's put your comments back on the screen here. Not Windows, just your comments. All right. So, by the way, CanSquatch, we do actually have the Rage Cam. The Rage Cam is actually here. It's not turned on. We're not going to use it today. But that is coming. And also, not only is that coming, but also Zoom calls are coming, where we're going to just simply put the Zoom call as a public link below the video. And whatever that does is what that does. Zoom may approach us promptly and tell us to stop doing it, but we're going to do it anyway until, in other words, sometimes it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. So yeah, I mean, we've only lost what, 1.96 trillion subscribers. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding, folks. It's just it was all for the memeage. It was all for the memeage. And yeah, so if you weren't aware, our memes are the dankest that there are, as they're original, and you can only be 100% dank. So here at the Smash News Network, we greatly pride ourselves on the dankness of all memes. So let's get into some additional stuff here while we welcome all of our viewers to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on finding our content and perhaps helping to disqualify nonsense from whatever it is that you're viewing on the internet. There's probably even more nonsense on the internet than there is on mainstream media, and that's really pushing the boundaries, as people are interested in a lot of stuff that simply isn't true. Let me show you something to be interested in. smashamash.org presents The Sun Part 3. It's distinctly dank. And it's embedded right into our homepage at smashamash.com. It features the musical stylings of a Beethoven's Midnight Sonata. Not Midnight Sonata, Midnight Sonata. And it's just a delight. It's just a delight. And by the way, if you thought I committed fraud in any of the videos, certainly not. I may have misrepresented something. But if it's not intentional, folks, it's not fraud. That's the line between fraud and misrepresentation. So let this be a lesson to you, folks. For those of you who aren't retired insurance agents or attorneys or whatever, the line between fraud and misrepresentation is intent. In other words, if you've accidentally misrepresented something, it's not fraud. If you've intentionally misrepresented material facts, it's fraud. So now, granted, folks, disinformation campaigns count as fraud. So if anybody has been committing fraud through disinformation campaigns, I don't know, maybe hold them accountable. It is 2021 after all. You remember last year? Remember what that was like? Would you like 2022 to be as incompetent as 2021? Well, if not, accountability is required. Because folks that expect you to be accountable for your fuck-ups but them not to be accountable for their fuck-ups, guess what they've done? They fucked up. So there's that. I mean, and it's a problem. I'm going to play up some more music, and I'm going to bring up some more imagery of the sun of my choice. Here comes some really obscure stuff called Glacial Drift 9, which I'm not even going to tell you what that's about. It's just the name of a track. And we're going to go to the SDO browse data, and we're going to put up some fresh images here. How about some composite animations? And we've got all kinds of data failures. Part of it is a result of radio breakdowns and CCD bakeouts. So if you're not familiar with what a CCD bakeout is, let us know in the comments. We'll talk about it later. CCD bakeouts. So does anybody know what a CCD bakeout is? When people start talking about how, NASA is hiding data, this is one of my favorite things. People claim that, NASA is hiding data, right? What's the problem with this? The problem is, if your scientific analysis is that non-existent data proves your hypothesis, you need a better analysis, because that is not anything. Suggesting that some crazy hallucinatory theory is true because you don't see data is insane. This is the line between hallucination and delusion. So we've talked about the line between fraud and misrepresentation. Let's talk about the line between hallucination and delusion. A hallucination might be something that you perceive and then you realize that it was something else. That's called a hallucination. A delusion is a hallucination that you now believe to be the real case, the truth, the reality, etc. Check it out. There's some activity kicking off up here, showing up in multiple wavelengths here on the SDO. Quite spectacular activity over the past few days here. Again, we haven't seen the sun this active since December of 2020. Anyway, let's put your chats back on the screen. I see some more chats coming through. Everybody leave a comment. Tell your friends and foes about our channel. Visit our websites. There are all kinds of links in the description. Thanks everybody who chimed in. We've got about 20 more minutes or so left on this stream. If there's anything you'd like talked about, etc., we will attempt to get through it. Bear with me a minute. I'm going to try to read comments. And I'd like to shout out to everybody's immune systems. Here is a toast to everybody's immune systems. They're extremely, 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 extremely sophisticated, having evolved over a period of what we would consider billions of years. Let's just say a long time. Your genes, and hence your genetic makeup, and hence your immune system, have taken probably billions of years. Let's just say a long time to get to the point they are. If you think that some crude, completely non-understood, non-practiced technology is superior to your own immune system, here at the Smash News Network, Least Busted Name in News, we would ask you to please reconsider your theory. We see lots of theories on YouTube, and a lot of those theories are terrible theories that are not worthy of being a hypothesis, much less an anything. So here's a toast. Everybody, I'm going to take a giant chug of club soda to your immune system. So congratulations on surviving a global pandemic so far. And while I chug this, visit our links. They're in the description. Here's no music to coincide with this chug. All right. It's like an athletic event, only not exciting. All right. So, what else do we have to cover here? Let's take another look at the X-ray flux. There you go. There is a serious, significant solar flare here happening just a half hour before we started today's live stream. By the way, this one yesterday happened while we did show prep for the Daily Space Weather. It's getting a little, I don't know. Think of it, just believe whatever you like. I honestly do not care. But it's, yeah. We've had M-class flares happen around putting out content before, and so if anybody's forecasting CMEs, I invite you to come on the channel. Let us know. Tell us how you do it if you're willing to tell us how you do it, or don't. I'm not concerned, because I'm pretty sure that I've explained the mechanism behind the solar cycles. So we're going to make content about that soon, and we are going to have a musical interlude very soon because my voice is getting a little bit shattered. So I'm going to play a track that has angered people before. It's angered people about the volume being too high, and for that I apologize. I was a little excited that day, and occasionally we have the volume out of whack. So sorry about the loud volume. Sometimes we don't edit the videos so that we can get them out from the Smash News Network Least Busted Name in News as quickly as possible. So here's another 2-minute song here, another musical interlude. This is Honey, I Shrunk Your Soul from Golden Cat Productions, and some solar imagery to go with it. All right, and we're back. I'm back. Hi. And thanks for the super chat, Judy Menzel. All right, so there are definitely issues, Judy, with censorship and so on when it comes to big tech. There is certainly a lot of concern from those of us who aren't composed of pure evil. So if you look at throughout history where censorship has led things, you will find out that censorship has led things to places like millions of people dying outright because of bad policies. So censorship is associated with death and destruction. Open debate is associated with liberty, I guess, would be the best word to describe it. And this is just an enduring feature again and again throughout history. I mean, I don't really see any sort of opposition to this. And the craziest thing about a lot of the stuff that's currently plaguing the planet is that there's an issue with things like ethics. I mean, everybody needs to sort of back up a little bit and figure out what are the motivations. So physicists rarely have a problem with this, in that physicists have a tendency to allow things to advance to their logical conclusions. And this is one of the problems going on with big tech. So, speaking of which, let's move things on to a completely different scenario. Let's take a look at CNBC. So there's been some big movements recently in cryptocurrency. You may have seen some massive, massive volatility. And whether or not you've seen massive volatility, I don't know. But if you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's currently at $46,000 per Bitcoin. But if you look at it over the 5-day chart, check out the wild swings. And even the 1-month chart, wild swings in Bitcoin. It's been as high as over 50,000, about 52,000. And currently at quite a low, very close to a support level at the moment. Now, I'm not a proponent of cryptocurrency. So let's just get that out of the way immediately. I'm just not. But I would not rule out a speculative investment as a relative importance. Like, I wouldn't rule it out as an important investment. In other words, don't own Dutch tulips when the price deflates. There are bubbles that occur in economies. They always have occurred. And they probably always will occur. Be prepared for them and maybe reduce your exposure to the liability of them. Again, I used to be an insurance agent, folks, so I know exactly how vague I can talk and how specific I can talk. Don't take anything I've said as investment advice. Let's look at the price of Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens, by the way. Here's the quote from Coinmetrics on Stellar Lumens, now at 33 cents. 33 cents per stellar lumen at the moment. So let me get off the screen here. There we go. And Yeah, there's a 1-year chart. Here's a 5-day chart. And you can see it's very similar to the chart of Bitcoin. I mean, there's a definite correlation there. Here's a 1-month chart. And you can see how similar that is to Bitcoin. And again, I'm not trying to pump any crypto or anything like that. I'm just trying to provide some relevant data to our viewers who may be lost in a sea of nonsense. There's definitely a sea of nonsense going on both the internet and on television. So I don't know what's going on with media. It's just ridiculous. And if anybody has a random news source, I'm going to literally type in random news source in DuckDuckGo. Because news has been a disaster. So let's just check this out. Random news source. Here we go. And the first choice is HuffPost. Yeah. HuffPost.com, baby. There you go. Read 'em and weep. Read 'em and weep. Anyway, a good alternative is, as always, smashamash.com/smashteam. We're distilling news and putting out all kinds of stuff about relevant science and so on. I mean, oh man, the internet is tubes. The internet is tubes. The internet is tubes. The internet is tubes. Yeah, so listen, you can commit fraud by omission. Fraud by omission is a thing. However, calling a U.S. senator a liar and suggesting that the U.S. senator is lying on public record and attempting to redefine a term like gain-of-function research is highly, highly dangerous to one's health. So, last January, we started covering coronavirus at smashamash.com/forum. Last March, we did a story, put out a video only hours after it became national news that a thing called hydroxychloroquine was relevant when it came to prophylaxis and or treatment of COVID-19. Later, we continued to cover COVID-19 every day at smashamash.com/forum in the free-for-all forum until mid-July. Mid-July of last year, COVID became irrelevant. Statistically irrelevant. And so, we stopped updating. Period. I was sick of hearing about it. I was sick of reading about it. I was vomiting in my own lap about it because I was sick of reading the same information over and over again. There's nothing new to learn about it. It's not particularly interesting. It's statistically irrelevant except for the human response. So anyway, the beef that I have is the response. And if a virus is your enemy, I feel terribly sorry for you. We're going to bring up another musical ditty here for you. And I'm not sure what this one's going to be. I haven't picked it. I'm picking it as I speak. So this musical ditty is called Sterling Groove. And it might be a little bit too edgy. You may want to cover your children's ears. These videos are not designed for a youthful below age 12. I don't know. It's PG-13. I don't know. Anyway, here's Sterling Groove. Enjoy. I'll be back in a minute.
bubonic plague. Yeah. Then the rats come back straight from the bionic attack, laced up with robotic appendages. Break it down, cause yo, when they eat sandwiches, they gonna come out of the sewer, dine on your meat and dine on your daughter, give you the plague with your swords, send you into a rage. On five swords. Dude, they need to make. I'm gonna install a cover over top of those buttons.
All right. What else do you know about? We'll cover it if it's interesting. Seriously, though, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all of those who checked out our websites, smashamash.com/smashteam. It is spectacular. And I guess we'll close out on HuffPost, since it's what showed up when we did a DuckDuckGo search. By the way, I don't know what's going on with internet searches. If you, the viewer, have any insight into what is a good internet search engine, let us know in the comments. Tell your friends and your foes and your science noobs and science pros what's your favorite search engine is. Now, I regularly use DuckDuckGo. I'm a fan. It is located in Pennsylvania. I guess I'm not a fan. I'm not fanatical about it. Although, I am a bit fanatical about the truth. So, that's my concern. And it is out there, if you're wondering. As they said on the X-Files, it's out there, the truth. Let's see if we can find it on HuffPo's Weird News. Why did it find that? I have no idea. Anyway, we've got some fear-mongering as the prime thread here on HuffPost. Full speed ahead. Schumer brushes off mansion roadblock. Is it budgetary or is it COVIDiotic? I don't know. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Senate Majority Leaguer. Are you beleaguered by your majority and or minority and or plutocracy leaguer, whoever they're aligned with? I mean, seriously, who's paying? Who is paying these people to exist? Don't you have to follow the money, folks? Listen to Judge Judy, okay? Because some of us, holy Jesus, Jesus God, to quote Hunter Thompson, Jesus God, they passed the bill. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. You want to see something horrifying? Look at this. Look at the chops on this dude. What a disaster. All right. So, they're moving full speed ahead. They want to spend a lot of money that they didn't earn, but they would like to spend anyway because their constituents require it. Yes. Chuck Schumer. He is quite a dude. I'm sure he's not utterly incompetent. Oh, don't worry, folks. I'm sure Chuck is not utterly incompetent. All right? Take your attack dogs home. Chuck Schumer he's legit. Him and Nancy are looking out for people that are sherbet gendered, okay? Because people like me, who are sherbet gendered, are in vast danger, okay? I look around behind me. I'm worried about people that are ice cream gender and people that are Italian ice gender and people that are gelati gendered. And there's nothing funny about being sherbet gendered, surrounded by iced coffee gendered people, okay? They throw sugar in their coffee. They don't have cocoa powder. They're using some kind of chocolate syrup chemically flavored ingredients. They're shopping at Starbucks. It's insane. Okay, I can't. I can't. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Okay, I'm becoming triggered. All right, so I have no idea where I was going with this rant. I wasn't going anywhere. I guess I was going back to HuffPo because it is as woke as a muh. Thanks to people like Chuck Schumer. Ah, yes. A great outlay of taxpayer dollars there. Chuck Schumer's salary, everybody. Let's give a slow clap for Chuck Schumer's salary. Oh, yes. You have so earned your place in basic existence. Congratulations to Chuck. And congratulations to Tom Wolfe, by the way, who donates all of his salary to charity. So he would like to make you think that he's not a plutocrat corporatist because he donates his Pennsylvania governor's salary to charity, because that's how deep in the fraud he is, you see? By the way, Tom Wolfe could not cover you in a play action pass scenario where you're the halfback who receives the fake handoff and then exits the backfield into the flat, causing Tom Wolfe to drop back into coverage and attempting to prevent me from catching the ball and getting stiff-armed right to the face, where you put your hand on his helmet and a crater opens up in the earth just beneath where Tom Wolfe used to stand, and he descends into the crater. All right. And what else is going on here? What's an objective news source? I'm pretty sure there is no such thing. Let's head to I got ABC News. I don't even know what the website is. I'll just do a web search. abcnews.com. Let's see what comes up. abcnews.com. Oh, it's abcnews.go. They've truncated the to hell portion and included just, does George Stephanopoulos still work for ABC News? That is the real question. What a disaster. A lot of Americans still think that this is objective news and not corporatist, plutocratic nonsense. Let's cut back to the yowzers. What's the top headline? WHO chief urges halt to booster shots for the rest of the year. The WHO is... Shut up, you godforsaken woman from hell! All right. WHO urges halt to booster shots for rest of year. Oh, my God. The WHO is looking out for you, folks. WHO is looking out for you. All right. We've got to end this stream. It's about that time. Thanks to everybody who left comments, super chats, etc. It's very important to the rest of our 1.94 trillion viewers who've mysteriously become unsubscribed. Tell your friends and foes about the channel. Press like, subscribe, etc. We'll see you soon. Head to smashomash.com/smashteam if you want to see even more stuff about, actual science, not fear-mongering and nonsense, which I think you might have found some of that on the internet. I wasn't trying to demonstrate it. It was just a happenstance. Anyway, we'll see you soon. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAshamash, signing off and playing you one more Golden Cat Productions track. This is called Journey to the Center of the Hearse, which is not some kind of code for kill yourself. It's just a dope track from Golden Cat Productions. Links in the description to tracks other than this one. Check it out. It's pretty sweet.